Okay, to begin making our little zombie, we are going to need some materials. We are going to need some green, and I am going to be using Sweet Snuggles Light Agave. Also going to be using some Sweet Snuggles Light in black, and also some Sweet Snuggles Light in sand. Now with this bee, I made it before I had the Sweet Snuggles Light sand, so I used a Bernat baby blanket, baby sand, and it still comes out super, super cute. And then you're also going to need a little bit of red yarn. I used Bernat baby blanket in race car red for my little red stitches there. And also you'll need a little bit of black worsted weight yarn in order to do the smiley face. Also, you're going to need some safety eyes. Well, honestly, only one safety eye. I'm going to be using a 12mm safety eye today. And every time I use safety eyes, I also get a little piece of felt that I fold in half, and then I cut just a little slit in it. Little slit in it so that I can do my safety eye. Okay, I'm also going to be using a 6.5mm crochet hook today. You'll also need a darning needle and maybe some worsted weight yarn if our magic ring snaps. Hopefully it won't, but just in case, we have that set aside ready. And then of course some stuffing. So let's get started. We are going to start by making a magic circle. And then I like to skip the 6 single crochets and go directly into doing 12 single crochets inside the magic circle. And you want to be loose. 1, 2. Okay, so I'm about 7 stitches in, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of tighten my magic ring a little bit, especially with the Sweet Snuggles Light. Sometimes, you know, we always have issues kind of with it, so it's easier to pull it with less stitches than more. So I pulled it just a little bit, and then I'm going to finish putting the rest of my single crochets in here and then tighten it the rest of the way. Alright, 12 single crochets, and I'm going to tighten it the rest. Oh, yay! That was very nice. I did not have to use my worsted weight yarn. Thank goodness. But if you tightened it the rest of the way and it snapped, you just cut a little bit of worsted weight yarn and get your darning needle and just kind of pick up these back stitches and then tie a knot to secure it. That way you don't have to start all over. Alrighty. Now what we are going to do is we are going to get up to 18 single crochets. So to start, we're going to go into our first stitch and do a single crochet, and then the next stitch we're going to increase, and we're going to do that all the way around. Okay, now that we're up to 18, we're going to get up to 24 single crochets by doing 2 single crochets in the first 2 stitches and then an increase. Now I have 24 single crochets. Now we are going to do 2 rows of 24, so just single crochet around twice. After doing those 2 rows of 24, we are going to color change to our black yarn, and you can color change however you want to. I like to just chain 1 with my new color and then pull that chain really, really tight. And now we are going to go around 2 times with our black yarn, so 2 rows of 24 with our black yarn. So after 2 rows of black, we're going to color change to green, and we're going to do 1 row around of green yarn. After 1 row of green, we're going to do our last 2 rows of black. So color change to black and do 2 rows of black. Okay, so we're done with our black yarn now. I'm going to color change to my green and do 2 more rows of 24 single crochets in green. And these first few stitches, I am going to just kind of carry my black one. And then after about 4, I'm going to cut it because we don't need the black one anymore. Okay, and then continue doing 2 rounds of green single crochets. Okay, now what we're going to do is we are going to add our safety eyes, or eye, because I'm going to make an X for my other eye. But if you want to add 2 eyes, you can totally do that. So where I like to put my safety eye is I kind of like to line it up where my color change is. And the way that I do color change is actually pretty seamless. But if yours is a little bit more noticeable, you know, it's okay. Because what I like to do is where this wing is actually where the color change is happening. So I sew this wing right on that color change so you can't even see it. But anyways, so I'll put it in between my second and third row. About a stitch lower than the color change or so. Because my wing will go right here, have another wing right there. Yeah, so I think that's where I want it to go, but you can place it wherever you want. I'm gonna get my felt piece right here and my little safety eye washer and snap it in. Boom. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start decreasing. We're gonna do 2 single crochets and decrease all the way around to get us to 18 stitches. And how I like to do a decrease is the invisible decrease. So I grab the first 2 loops, pull through, decrease. Okay, so now we have 18 and I am going to start stuffing. I grab the stuffing and I push it into the center of my project. Once I get a good chunk in there, what I'll do is I'll go in kind of with my thumbs and I'll turn it as I kind of pull that stuffing out to the sides, almost making like a little crater on the inside. I just feel like it makes it fat and not lumpy in places. So just kind of keep doing that, make sure it looks good. Looking good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some stuffing and I'm going to stuff the little crater that I made. Stuff that crater. Alright, now we're going to go around and do another round of decreases. We're going to single crochet and decrease, and that will get us to 12. But the wing is super simple. Start with a single crochet, start with a magic ring, and then do 12 single crochets in there very loosely. Okay, so then what you're going to do after you get to 12 is you're going to single crochet and increase all the way around, making sure that you kind of take this tail with you to hide it. All right, when you get to 18, you're just going to slip stitch, leave a long tail for sewing, cut that, and then flip it over and cut the back one off too. And there you go, you have one wing. Now make another one and then we'll attach everything together. Now we're going to sew our little wings to our bee and add his little bloody scar and his face and other eye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my wing, put it on my darning needle, okay? And then with the eye facing that way, I'm going to lay this down flat right over my color change. And I have there. So right over my color change, and what I'm going to do is I am going to go into the back where this back black, say that 10 times fast, where this back black line is, that last black row, and then I'm going to come in at the very front of where my color change happened, and I'm going to attach my bee's wing, kind of like that. So I've got it attached at the back, I've got it attached at the front, and now I'm going to just kind of whip stitch it on the front here. I just find this covers my color changes very seamlessly. You don't even know that that's exactly where my color change was happening because the wing is covering it. Okay, and after I'm done, I'll pull the excess yarn into the very back, and then I'm going to do my other wing. And I want it roughly 4 stitches away. So same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. So start at the very back, black, and then come up on that front black. Just whip stitch it down. Then I'm going to take my yarn and I'm going to go out in that same stitch that I went out with the other yarn. Just like that. And I'm going to tie it, cut it, and tuck it. Tie it, cut it, and tuck it. Alright, now what I'm going to do is, he definitely needs his other eye and mouth right now. It's driving me nuts. He needs it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just come up, line up, and the thing about it is it does not have to be perfect whatsoever because it's a zombie. Like, zombies are not perfect. They can look as messed up, and you can even like make one of the wings like smaller than the other one, like really make it awkward, and like this bee is definitely a part of the apocalypse. Couldn't find my worsted weight one, so I'm using black velvet right now. And then I'm just going to give him kind of a little smiley face, but you could do a frowny face. You don't even have to do a face. Like, this is a really janky, creepy zombie. Alrighty, and then same thing for here. I'm going to tie it, cut it, tuck it. And then last thing, I am going to do a couple of little bloody stitches on him. I always like doing one kind of like an eyebrow. I think it makes him look really cool. So just come up and come down, make a straight line, and then go back up to the top. And then just do the crosses back and forth. And you can make them thick, you can make them thick and thin, like long, and doesn't have to be straight. Like, seriously, this can be like the most imperfect bee you've ever done because it's a zombie. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take it and I'm going to go all the way over to the other side. I'm not going to pull it too tight because I don't want it to get distorted out of shape. But I'm going to give him a little something over on this side. Alright, and then I'm just going to bring this one over there, tie it, tuck it, and this bee is all done. So there you go. There is our little zombie. But you can just play around with this. Like, seriously, I've even put like red stitching like on the wing to make it look like he's got a bloody wing. And you can mess around with this as much as you want to make your own zombie and how creepy you want it to look. So, but thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!